Hello, and welcome. You're listening to Nicola Blair, the founder of Act On It. But today I want to bring you a personal message. I want to bring a personal message to you because it's Black History Month. It's February, and if you asked me, I'm not happy that it's just February. I think it needs to be integrated all through the year. But that's the way our people, government, schools, education, and those that be want to keep this truth be untold. And so Black History Month is a month where you will experience more information about blackness, black existence, the importance of society coming together and celebrating the truth about Black history and who we truly are. We are kings and queens. We need to embrace the fact it's not a myth. We need to accept that back, way back before slavery, there was a history. And it's that history that is kept silent, that is kept out of our books, that is not taught in schools, that is hidden from us, so that we do not know the truth about who we are. And so Black History Month is a way of bringing information and knowledge to the service. So why don't we just embrace Black history throughout the year? And until we're ready to really make that transition, until schools and education and historians and researchers are willing to really embrace the truth about history and the truth about really what happened, we will be kept in the dark, and only a few of us will go out looking for the truth, to share the knowledge and to pass on to our children. So there's a few challenges that I've got for you today, but one of the main facts that I'd like to point out is Black history did not begin in slavery. Far years and years and hundreds of years before slavery, there was a black existence, an advanced society that reigned in a country which is one of the largest continents in the world, made up of tribes that lived side by side, who knew the rules of engagement. And of course, if you overstep that engagement, there are consequences. Just like if I overstep the rules of engagement and come into your home, there'll be consequences like no different to any other. But what we need to recognize and what we need to dispel is the myth that Black people existed just in Africa and we only have a history from slavery. That is false. Black people were walking the streets of Britain long before slavery. We were around the world long before slavery. We were maybe there and not understood. And then there came the curiosity as, where are these folks from? Different coloured skin. Where did civilization begin? You can do your research. The DNA will tell you that the origins of the human race began from genealogy and genetics, and DNA has done their research, and it shows. Who wants to fight against the truth that the human race was started in a place called Africa and was spread out over the continents and across the world, and those that went north had a lighter hue and those that stayed in the hottest parts had the darkest hue. And that is what we are. We are one. And today I want you to know that I would like to unify us as one. But at the same time, let's recognize the difference. Let's recognize the diversity and what it brings. Let's celebrate blackness within the world and let the truth be told. So, one, Black existence did not just start as slavery. In Africa there was, and around the world, there was clothing. That's why our clothes are so much embellished with jewels and colours. Our sciences, our medicine, the herbalists, it's when you study medical anthropology like I have done, medical anthropology in Hertfordshire University took me right back to African civilization and what is ritual and what is the constructs of society and where is medicine born from. Hello. And where has it come from and where was it originated from? And it takes us straight back to the motherland of Africa. And yet the truth is not told. Why? Racism in our society needs to keep people marginalized, subjugated, and divided. And by divided, you can then rule a race. And so obviously the constructs of slavery was exactly mapped out. It was a planned event. It was an e-commerce. It was a business. It was a way of making a civilization that was not civilized, now civilized, by bringing the knowledge of what they discovered around the world. You see, in Africa, we have nomads, so there was no confusion about movement across land. There's no confusion or doubt that we moved across waters and went to different places in the world. And that's why the royal family, the British history has black people within it. There have been black royals. There were black people walking the streets. If you look at the descriptions of Henry VIII, if you look at the descriptions of Queen Victoria, if you look at the descriptions of Princess Charlotte, you'll find that we were described as woolly-haired, swarthy. Swarthy in the description in Old English is black, people of colour, of a different race. Broader noses, stronger jawlines. These were all things and descriptions to say that we existed. There is documented proof. There is no reasons for me to go over it. If you are interested in it, just open a book. I dare you to go on Google. I dare you to scratch the surface to look further. But one of the key significant points on why Black History Month is important and needs to become a part of our education and understanding of who we are and what happened, and to celebrate the beauty of this world, that we are together and we walk hand in hand, we live with each other in the community, and to show how far we've come is to understand where we have been. And so we need to acknowledge the fact that there's been atrocities all around the world, and the Black history on slavery has never been shared in school as a form of a unit or module in curriculum. And that is very, very sad. It's sad because that's one way you keep people in denial of their own truth, their own history, and their roles in the constructs of that. Black history is not about making people feel bad about themselves. It is what it is. The things that happened in Germany against the Jews, around people of colour in the concentration camps, we know it. Germans have had to live with the fact that their ancestors were responsible for the things that took place. And they move on. And so why is it that people and the world cannot let Black history be told and be accounted for and recognised? That is the most painful thing that can ever happen to a race. To deny them of their own existence, to deny them of the contributions, to deny them of their attributions, to deny them of their wealth, to deny them of their true success in this world, is a way of keeping that child, that person, feeling that they are less than. And that was the art of slavery. Slavery was a money-making machine. It was about business, it's about commodity, and they took human beings, just like human trafficking is doing now. They took human beings and sold them and kept them and broke it down. Because if you divide a race and take away their language, their religion, their location, change their family, separate them, you are deconstructing a whole entire society. And then you take the history and you crumple it up and you rebrand it and make it and own it and take it on and then represent it to the world. That is breaking down the true essence of blackness, because you're not giving it its place in this world. And so, like many people of colour, many Black people, we are very much actively wanting to know and wanting to share the truth, so that truth can be told, and also celebrate at the same time. So what happened last year was a good beginning. of allyship, a coming together of people, despite your colour or your race. We are coming together as one to say what is going on needs to stop, needs to change. And it's taken to 2020 for a mass demonstration all around the world to say we are saying no more. And the generation that is coming up are our leaders of tomorrow that are saying no. Black, white, all different races are all saying the same thing, that this needs to stop. We need to come together. We are neighbours, we are friends, we are one. And as a people, we just also need to recognise that we are diverse. And with diverse comes richness. Because kings and queens walked the land in Africa. We are coming from descendants of kings and queens. And if children, black children, really understood, or if we as a collective, imagine what this world would be if slavery did not happen. The diamonds, the minerals, the precious gems, the oil, the medicine, clothes, hairdressing, makeup, architecture, constructions, astrology, mathematics, geography, all would be such advanced by now, because what was going on in the African continent was an advanced civilization, and we know it today. All we have to do is read. All we have to do is challenge our children to step out of the box and look and do some research. All we need to do is challenge these teachers to look beyond the textbook, and let's get explorative in the way we deliver our subjects in school. So I challenge you. Black history did not start with slavery. Black people were walking the land many, many years before, all across the world. I challenge you, where did civilization truly begin? Did we not disperse out of a continent and travel, and those that travelled north remained fairer skinned because they were further away from the sun? Is it that people that stayed nearer to the sun are darker skinned? The migration of people around this globe is an example of where and why places look the way that they do. If you go to the Caribbean, you'll see a lot, in Jamaica specifically, you'll see a lot of Caribbean influence. And Dutch, actually, in some parts of Caribbean, you've got these houses that look, but they look different, right? We need to acknowledge that if the history can be told about other races, why is there such a hard and fast resistance again telling the truth about Black history? So Black history really should be every day this year, every day part of our society, but it's not, and that's why we are granted one day, 1 month in a year to talk about it. So a few years I say allyship, show up, be as one, stay connected. It really is a call for compassion and solidarity. It's if you feel for people, you'll feel for people of colour, for Black people. I don't know what is so hard about it. If I feel your pain, and you happen to be Jewish and you're going through it, I feel your pain. I want to stand in support of you. If you are feeling pain as a Muslim or a Sikh, I feel your pain. I want to stand up and celebrate and support you as a race. If I see things happening in China or Korea, I want to stand up and be willing to support you and to ensure that your story is told. So I call upon you, if it's that easy, if we can donate to so many causes around the world and petition against the wrongs of this world, why is it that it is an issue to let the historic history be told? And that's Black History Month. So, allyship. Last year was a lot happened last year. Allyship. And I was listening to my children's class today. They said, show up. Just show up. Many of you did not understand what took place last year or never understood how it might feel for a person of colour or for a black person to see someone who could be your dad, your brother, be knelt down on till the point where you were killed in broad daylight, and yet another black body is killed in broad daylight and no accountability. And so that was a significant change, and we established allyship, and I want you to continue doing that. I want you to listen. It's not always about persecuting the white race for what has happened in history. It's more about educating and understanding and trying to share share what has happened, so that the allyship is being done with knowledge and understanding and informed decision. Empathy is all it takes. If you're empathetic with people, you will know what I'm talking about. It's not that hard. It's just not that hard. I don't know why it needs to be that hard, but it's the core of individuals. It's the heart of an individual that will make them say, no, I do not want to support the atrocities of that race, those people. And that is racism in its bitter core. So speak up. This is one of the most important things. You need to understand how appreciative, how much is appreciated when someone stands up and says, no, that's not right. It doesn't have to be about you for you to say it's not right. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you see something that's wrong, just speak up. Allyship is about standing up for one another, speaking up, letting the world know that that is not right. I can't stand here and see these things or people or this microaggression that sometimes takes place, in schools, in the workplace, in our families. We need to start speaking up and saying, no, I can't stand by and hear that and tolerate and let people feel supported in what they're doing. So I say, show up. Be an ally. Right is right, wrong is wrong. It's not about persecuting the white race for what they've done. We know what you've done. We know what the British Empire, the Portuguese, the French, the Spanish, we know, and all around the world, and the Chinese, we know what people have done and are doing. The selling of people is one part of history. Let's celebrate the modern day hero. Let's our children celebrate the greatness that they truly are. Let our kids understand that they are kings and queens. Let them know, let them feel proud, let them smile.